Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton, Geoffrey, and Adam Ross here as we are every Tuesday night, along with the Wizard hanging in the background as well. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, man. It was good to see you today. I saw a couple of racers today. My regular 9 to 5 job. You, Kenny Sargent, Brett Rodwell. It was a day full of racing folk.
Are you auditioning to be a pylon? Sorry. When you went full screen there, I was like...
The shirt's actually salmon color, but it looks brilliant orange on that screen.
Oh, yeah. For sure does.
I should draw a Sharpie face on it. I can be a jack-o'-lantern. You should just draw a big line down the middle of you, and you can be a jackass.
It's all right. Spencer could probably make that happen for both of us. We'll be talking to a couple guests here tonight. We're going to welcome Todd Lewis here in a minute, and Steve Ovens from on the New York side of the ditch will be coming on to talk to us about running into you on the weekend and what the weekend at Land of Legends meant to him and his family. Obviously, the memorial event for his brother and dad, Stu. And we'll talk to our Burger Barn video of the week. We'll watch that and talk it up a bit. We have our Quick-wick trivia, which we'll get to right now. And there's one thing that Phil Nell's messaged me last week, Adam, and pit prices, what is fair? It's been on the rundown for like the last 3 weeks, and it keeps getting bumped. And as soon as we got off the air last week, is what gives? We've been waiting to talk about that. So we're going to make sure that gets its dues tonight as well. So before we jump into Todd Lewis, let's talk about our Quick-wick trivia. This week it comes from Ohsweken Speedway, which is set to open in about a week's time. And the question is, who won the quickest Thunder Stock race in Ohsweken history? So that means 20 laps faster than any other time in the history of the Speedway. Who won the feature that night? So who won the quickest Thunder Stock race in Ohsweken Speedway history? As always, if you've got the correct answer, let us know here in the comment section. We'll pick one winner from YouTube and our Facebook viewers, and you'll win a Quick-wick trivia t-shirt. Without further ado, let's talk to Todd Lewis.
Sure, let's talk to me. How are you guys?
Tropical Todd Lewis. Look at palm trees in the background.
Yeah, this is my kind of go-to background filter that I kind of use whenever I get the opportunity on these video calls. So it's just so peaceful looking, the blue sky, waves coming in, palm trees. Those are some of my favorite things.
When I think of a beautiful tropical beach, Todd, you are not the first thing that pops into my mind. I doubt you're even in the top 5.
I have a chance at the top 10 at least. But I can appreciate that there would be a lot of things ahead of me, Adam.
Well, Todd, after we've seen you online like this and all your interviews and on your show with this background all the time, you better show up this weekend to Sunset Speedway looking like you've been hanging out in the sunsets. Have you been hitting the tanning booth to match your backdrop or what?
I do not hit the tanning booth. I did spend most of the last 5 weeks or so in Florida. So there's a little I call it the neutralizing the blue color of Canadian skin after 6 or 7 months of winter. You get a little bit of sunshine, so it just kind of neutralizes the blue in your skin tone and brings it back to more of a regular flesh tone. So that's kind of where I am right now.
Well, Adam, if I can still live in my glass house and throw stones at Todd right now, I always wanted to fill his shoes coming up to be, on the TSN broadcast, but I didn't know the hair color came with it, Todd. So thank you very much. And you can stick that one because I'm definitely rolling down your path faster than ever. Let's talk about the NASCAR Pinty Series, though, guys. Big weekend coming up this weekend after 2 years of just kind of having an anchor around their neck and forcing the series to get out and make it happen. We are excited about this weekend. Car counts are up. There's a lot of buzz. Todd, your thoughts on getting ready to go for race number 1 here?
Well, I'm with you. There's all that excitement. There's all that enthusiasm. I think that crowds are going to be great. at events in general this year, because we've all been forced to stay home for the most part for a couple of years. But I think with things open up now, I think we can expect great crowds. And I think as much as we all enjoyed the autograph sessions at the Pinty Series races before, I think everybody's going to enjoy them even more this year, to have the opportunity to get some of that long missed interaction with fans. I just think there's just going to be a real warmth and excitement and fun and energy that is going to be present at all events, starting with this coming weekend at Sunset Speedway. As you mentioned, Clinton, car counts are going to be big for all events. We've got teams that want to be part of the series. There have been more announcements in the last week of drivers that are coming in and coming back to the series, with Andrew Ranger and Marc-Antoine Cameron teaming up to form a new team. It's there's a lot of excitement there, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we get out on track this year. That Trayton Lapsevich is going to be a year older. DJ Kennington is hungrier than ever after winning 2 of the last 3 races at Delaware Speedway. Pick a driver, and there's reason for optimism pretty much with just about everybody. And I talked to DJ a few days ago, and he said he's been in an off-season fitness program, and he's dropped some weight this off-season. He is very serious about getting back and contending for another championship and having a strong season. So there's lots of reasons for excitement. There's lots of reasons for everyone to be looking forward to it. LP Dumoulin wants to win a 4th championship, and he wants to be the first to win it in back-to-back years. And that's something that hasn't been done in the history of the Pinty Series. So lots of great stories, lots of reason for excitement this season.
Todd, looking back over the years, why has nobody been able to repeat as a champion? Because most seasons there is a dominant driver. Most seasons that dominant driver wins the title. Why do they not carry that into the next year?
I think it speaks to the competition level of the series. There's a lot of good racers that can win every weekend. It's a dozen drivers that have an opportunity to win, whether it's a long established driver, as the couple I just mentioned with Kennington and with LP Dumoulin. But you have Marc Cameron, who's a threat every weekend. You have Andrew Ranger, who's a threat every weekend. You have young charger like Trayton Lapsevich, who is a threat to win every weekend. You've got Brandon Watson, who's coming into the series this year on a full-time basis. And he ran 4 events last year and served notice that he's ready to be a challenger and a contender every weekend this year. It's the competition is so difficult. And we know how challenging and tough it is to have one good season where you're able to put everything together. The team is working well. The car is right. You don't have any mechanical hiccups or failures. To get one championship, to do it in back-to-back years, that's a really tough ask of anyone. And when you've got all the competition with your target being the target the following season as the defending champion, makes it that much more difficult.
I think Brandon Watson's going to be a guy to watch this year. We've seen him a lot with the APC series. He's good, man. He'll be one that a lot of people probably don't have their eye on, but if they get that clicking, he's going to be a guy. I mean, he showed us in the first couple cracks he had there. But Todd, let's talk about Sunset. We've seen that be tough place for some guys. We've seen Tag absolutely wax the field there. Is that a good place to start the season? Do you think guys are happy to be starting there as opposed to like a CTMP? What's your thoughts on that?
Canadian Tire Motorsport Park has been the traditional opener for a number of seasons. Last couple of years, of course, being the exception because of the challenges. But that has been the traditional opener. I don't mind myself opening it a week earlier at Sunset Speedway. It's going to be interesting to see how everybody falls back into what I guess is the regular routine of, okay, this is our traditional kind of schedule with 12 or 13 races and we have road courses and we have ovals, but we're starting with an oval. Sure, it's a bit different. It's a bit unusual. We should mention that Raphael Lessard is running all the ovals too, and he kind of waxed the competition last year at Sunset Speedway as well. So there's something else to keep in mind, but I'm okay opening a week early. Heck, it's hard to open much sooner than that because the weather's unpredictable. But if it happens to go a week earlier and stretches the season out a little bit, I'm all for extending racing season a little bit.
I'm curious, Todd, and you have more inside information than I do, most certainly. But it's always been with the Cascar series, the Pinty series, there's not a lot of new crew chiefs. So the people that have the knowledge of these cars, know how to set them up, know how to make things happen. They've been the same people year after year after year. With this many new teams this season, I'm curious who's been able to go out and find that mechanical talent to get them where they want to go. But what's your thoughts on the team pairing of Andrew Ranger and crew chief Caden Lapsevich?
I'm very curious to see how that dynamic plays out myself, because this is a new role for Caden. We know what a success he was in the series as a driver. We also, and maybe not as many people know, he has a lot of other experience in terms of his education and work experience in the United States and working with top level teams. So there's a knowledge base that he's been able to bring in, and now he's going to get the chance to apply that in the NASCAR Pinty series with a proven driver who has shown that he can drive a less than perfect car to a victory and take checkered flags and win championships. How does the communication and how does the combination come together? That's going to be the interesting part. And we talk about it and hear about it so often with drivers and crew chiefs and team members, is they have to be able to speak the same language. The driver has to be able to tell the crew chief what the car is doing, and the crew chief has to be able to understand the driver and give him what he wants, what he's looking for, and what he needs. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with, I mentioned Marc-Antoine Cameron. He's brought in Robin McCluskey to be his crew chief, who of course was the championship winning crew chief last season for LP Dumoulin. So does some of that success move over and knowledge come together with those two? They have a bit of a history previously. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting combinations worth watching this year.
We get back to Sunset, then we get over to CTMP while we got you here. You know, that's been the classical start to the season. I've fallen in love with CTMP the past 5 years. It's a place, you know, being a dirt track oval guy, you don't get out to. And I think, you know, especially in the fall when we were there, or late September, early September, I guess I should say, with the trucks that weekend, man, I saw more and more of the oval trackers coming out and experiencing what it is. What a great weekend. Look forward to that. Car count, again, massive for that. Even bigger, they're talking. You know, 2 years ago when we started playing this Pinty's on Dirt race, I started blowing shit out my ass saying, oh, yeah, we're going to bring 30 cars. And holy cow, we are going to have 30 cars at all the events, damn near.
I was going to say, yeah. And at that dirt race that we're finally going to get this year, that has been so highly anticipated. Are you going to be able to? You going to add an extra night because of all the cars that are going to want to be part of that? I think that's going to be the most challenging thing. But I'm loving that we have such a high car count for full-time runners. Plus, we always have some part-time runners that participate in a few events, and a lot of them are road racing specific. So. Bring it on. These larger fields make for increased competition, not just at the front of the field, but throughout the field too. I don't know about you guys, but anytime I'm watching a race, I want to see drivers racing and battling for position. I don't care if it's first, I don't care if it's 5th, 10th, 15th. I want to see drivers battling each other for position. And if you have higher car counts, you're going to have more battles throughout the field. Whichever driver is your favorite, whichever team you're cheering for or rooting for, there's always going to be a battle that they're going to be involved in throughout the race. And I think that's better for the fans and the fan experience, which is what we're all looking for.
Yeah, and what I like, Todd, when you get past that 18 to 20 car mark, you get congestion.
Yes.
Like you say, there's battles around the track. It adds a dynamic to the race when the leaders approach lap traffic. When we're down, say, 15 cars, you don't get the traffic that we're going to have with 20 plus. So it's, I think it's going to be like the good old days. And this is the good old days for somebody, but I really think we're going to see some moves, some racecraft that we would have seen 20 years ago when CASCAR was at its peak.
That's a great point. That is another element that top runners will have to deal with, is that dealing with lap traffic, dealing with other cars, you do have to manage your way around the racetrack. You've got someone hunting you from behind if you're in the lead, or if you're up running near the front. You not only have to defend your position, try to gain positions if you're trying to get towards the front, but now you've also got to navigate some of the other competitors who maybe aren't having the best day. So it adds another layer of complexity to racing, and it increases. You're right, the racecraft is going to be on display, and I think the best drivers will end up as the winners, which is great.
Last thing I got for you, Todd, let's talk about the distances. Adam, this is something you and I discussed with somebody that might have been Jeff Lapsovich in the past, over these shortened distance races throughout COVID. If someone gets into you, you're kind of looking at the official to, make a call on that, because you only have 75 laps or 100 laps. Over a 250 lap race, we talked about this, Adam, you're going to see that guy a lot more times throughout the day, and you kind of get to police and pay that back. Adam, did you want to add anything to that? Am I getting the gist of what we were talking about?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Clint, but our races, and it's tradition, going back to the days of Cayuga Speedway, Vernon Speedway out west, where the fields would get strung out. You'd go 150 laps and start to wonder, is there going to be another caution? Are people going to get a chance to pit and make adjustment? Inevitably, it always comes back, that accordion effect. You get that yellow flag, people get to regroup, and then the fireworks start. So I think we're just going to see a little bit different dynamic. Todd might have a different opinion than I do with that. I don't think the race length is going to affect things for better or for worse. I think if we see good racing, people are going to enjoy longer races.
I think the majority of drivers will say that I'll race you the way you want to race me. And if you want to be an ass, well, I'll treat you the way that you treat me. But understanding too that you're right, if it's a 250 lap distance, that okay, somebody might be banging on your back bumper at lap 10. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to move over and let them go, and they'll come back to me later. So I kind of see what both of you are saying, but I for the most part, this is what drivers will say to me, is that, if you want to race me, hard, I will race you hard. I've got no problem with that. And drivers are happy to have a competitor elevate their level of competition. But if you want to keep banging on my back bumper and trying to push me out of the way at every opportunity, well, then I'm only going to get pissed off at you, and I'm going to race you the same way. And we have seen a number of times that drivers have very long memories and don't worry about exacting revenge at an appropriate moment when it presents itself.
No, for sure. I've only got one more thing, and it's as much as taking a shot at myself as anything. Are we leaving out Kevin Lacroix? Like, we keep talking about drivers' names and people were excited to watch. I mean, is this the year that he quietly comes in and takes care of business?
I don't know that Kevin Lacroix ever does anything quietly. And it's funny because he is one of the quietest, most relaxed, laid back guys. Whenever you wander up to him at the racetrack and have a quick chat and a conversation to talk about the day and the car and the race and everything, but he is as fierce a competitor as anyone out there. And he had great days last year. And he had days where it all went away. There were mechanical problems or other difficulties. I was going through some notes today, and it was kind of the checkers or wreckers kind of thing for Kevin Lacroix. And is this the year that he maybe takes a breath? I don't know. I don't know if it's in his nature, but you can bet that he will be up near the front, and he will be getting a lot of attention. And is he going to win a race? Probably. Is he going to win two? That's very likely as well. Because Kevin Lacroix wins races, and he does it often in dramatic fashion.
Awesome, Todd. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys on Saturday. Let's tell the fans where they can catch your other programming and your podcasts and such.
The podcast is called Racing It Out. I and Caitlin Patrick, who is the social media director for the Pinty series, do that every couple of weeks is the schedule we're on right now. Our last episode has dropped. We had a guest, Samantha Tan, who's a terrific road racer and a terrific guest, and had a lot of interesting things to talk about on our last episode. The television program is on Rev TV. It's called Rev Culture. I'll give you the tease as to who's on the next episode. It's an interview with Trevor Siebert and talking about his career and the RS1 series in Penticton Speedway. LP Dumoulin, 3-time in the Pinty series. So I just did a nice interview with LP, so he'll be on it. And young open wheel racer Mac Clark, who is ripping it up in the USF juniors right now. He's won the first 4 races, so he's on with me as well. So those are the 3 guests on the next episode of Rev Culture on Rev TV. Debuts May 23rd.
Awesome. Remember that name. Mac Clark is a name you want to remember for sure.
Good kid. Really nice guy.
Yeah. Quality. Todd, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you Saturday.
And, all right, boys. Have a great night. Thanks for having me.
Pack your
see you on
willies.
the weekend. Yeah.
If you're leaving Florida, pack your long johns.
Got it, man. See you there.
Hit the tanning booth. See ya. Wow. Oh, Todd's always good to work with. We always have a good laugh.
He's a pro.
Yeah. Do we have a quick-wick trivia winner? We have one. Did we have both, Spencer? I see DeBoer Motorsports on YouTube got the trivia answer. It was.
Yeah, I saw Richard had it in this side.
Yeah, so it was Logan Schwedick on September 13, 2019. 20 laps at Oshweekend, the fastest ever 20-lap feature run, 6 minutes, 38 seconds. 20 laps, 6 minutes. That's smoking. That's almost sprint car times. Obviously not as fast, but that's how fast they're knocking down their features most nights when things go well. Couple of things, Adam. I see some folks commenting in the comments about being asked for a credit card when they tried to sign the online waiver. That makes no sense. I'm not sure where that came from. Spencer will share the online waiver for Oshweekend. We've had 250 people already sign up, and we're looking to get about 700 before opening night. So that's good. There it is. If you're looking to go. So if you're going to any Oshweekend race this summer, you can go and pick up your annual waiver by signing it right there. All you got to do is have a phone number, and it's very simple. It takes a photo. You read your waiver, sign it off, and you're good to go for the entire year. This will speed things up at the gate as well. Again, this is not one of my harebrained ideas for Oshweekend. This is brought in by the insurance company. We're just abiding by what we're asked to do. But I can tell you, if you go ahead and do it now and you have any problems, let us know. But it's been flying through. We've done it in multiple demonstrations. And also, if you're a race fan at 80% of the racetracks here in Ontario, which would be like, what, 9 out of the 12, you're going to have this same waiver. So
don't back yourself into a math problem that you can't climb out of.
Let's bring someone on who is absolutely awesome at math, Stephen Ovens. He's looking at me like, "What are you doing, man? I'm a writer guy. I don't add stuff up." How's it going, Steve?
Oh, we're doing great, guys. It was my favorite subject in school, so I mean, there is that.
There you go.
I liked it until they introduced letters. Once you introduce letters into math, you lost me. Forget it.
Okay, hold on. Before we get too into Steve, I'm just going to do a follow-up there. You do not get a QR code. What you actually get is a screenshot that you can show. And you just save that in your phone, and you can show it, and it basically says you're good for all events. And you pay your way in, and you get in. So it's also there on the Oshweekend website if you want to get to that. Stephen Petty, I saw your message. Thank you. Big guy will be back there this Friday. Steven, you guys had a big weekend at Land of Legends. Obviously, a tough situation with the family, with the dad and the brother passing on last year, as we all know. You've been on the show a bunch, but you got to honor them on Saturday, and it was coincidental that Adam was down there. So, Adam, I'll turn it over to you to kind of set the tone for Saturday night because you were down visiting family and you got to go.
Yeah, it was. I was really thrilled that I was able to be there, but what I was most impressed with is how much effort and respect was shown to the ceremony that took place just before the racing program. You know, the video crew was out there. Multiple photographers are out there to hear Paul Cole speak, to hear Steven talking for Brad Ovens to get inducted onto the Wall of Fame. So how special was that, Steven?
It was pretty cool. I think when Paul announced that he wanted to do this at our banquet in the off season, I was certainly touched by the gesture, but at the same time, I was touched by the gesture. I think something that crossed my mind was I wasn't sure how it would be received, because anytime you announce, at least in our experience, every time you announce somebody that's going to go up on the Wall of Fame, you always get that passionate fan that comes back with the next 2 or 3 people that they think should be inducted on the Wall of Fame. And the only thing that I worried about with Brad going on the wall is, would people kind of jive with the idea of doing it? And to my surprise, there was a lot of support for it. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Brad, in his short time at the Land of Legends, really kind of helped us elevate, the game in terms of streaming. And, it was a collaborative effort. And, it wasn't, this whole streaming thing, like it wasn't, the Brad coming in and, doing graphics and kind of working together with our Rorik, our producer. And, it was really a culmination of all the different experiences that he brought to the table when Paul hired him on to help on the TV crew. And so, when I look back at all the different things, and it was things that he learned when he was an intern at Dirt Motorsports and Dirt Vision. It was experiences he got from Patrick Donnelly when Brad got to travel with them to, different month of money races all over the country. It was all of the iRacing broadcasts that we all collaborated on to make happen. Like, all of those things were proving grounds for Brad to then bring all of that experience and help this streaming effort at Land of Legends, help get us to where we are today. So, when I think of all of that and what he helped us accomplish as a team, it's quite an honor.
I look at some of these emotional things, Steve. I don't know how you get through it. I mean, I have enough trouble inducting other people's family, and I can imagine. I just tell them stand behind me, because if I see you, I'm going to be in trouble too. So let's talk about the amazing racing and product you have going on at Land. Adam, am I missing anything before we turn the page into the awesome stuff going down? Is there anything that you wanted to mention about your visit there? You're muted. I don't know if you know that. There you go.
Am I?
We hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, isn't that weird? No, it was a great ceremony. So glad that Steven's mom was able to be there and enjoy it, and there was family there, and I believe it was Steven's sister sang the national anthem. Just a down-home family affair, and that's what it was about. And then do that, follow it up with a fantastic night of racing. So it really was a good night.
Yeah, that was a cool moment for me to be able to introduce Mom to, one of the two of you guys that, that we worked so closely together for a while with Brad. It was kind of cool. She told me afterwards, she's like, I didn't really know what to say, but she goes, thinking back, it was really kind of cool to kind of piece together that part of what we all did together.
What she wanted.
I felt bad
because I never got to meet a giant before. Adam was saying to me, man, the pictures I look so huge, like tall, but he's in the foreground and you're in the background, and that picture there.
Yeah.
But no, it was great. It was a great moment, and that's what racing is about, is those moments. They don't always happen on the racetrack. They don't always happen while a race is going on, right? Because we live in that lifestyle. A lot of things happen. A lot of special moments happen before the green flag flies or behind the grandstands. You never know. That's what makes this dysfunctional family that we all live in so rewarding.
Steven, my question for you is, let's talk about the good racing going on at Land of Legends and a bit about the streaming product there for our fans who maybe haven't been out there, have not captured the stream. How do they get it? How do they, check it out? And what has the action been there? Canandaigua was a bad, fast racetrack, and you got the stars. It's like they say, the Land of the Legends are there every week.
Yeah, it's we've got a great field. I mean, it's not, not every single platinum signed driver on the Super Dirt Car Series is there every Saturday night, but we got a lot of them. You think of guys like Peter Britton, Larry White, and it's interesting to have Larry back with us because he is, as several drivers are trying to get into that championship deal at Orange County, but Larry won the first night out. So now with him being qualified for that championship, he, technically he doesn't have to go back until August. And so that's allowed him the option to come run with us at Canandaigua, a little closer to home, still run for a great purse. And that's what they've chosen to do. So we've got Larry, Matt. We know that we'll see Matt Shepard here and there. He's obviously wants to get qualified in that Orange County championship too. So, but yeah, Britton, White, Matt Shepard, Eric Rudolph, Justin Hares. How can I forget Justin Hares? Won his first track title last year with us. Tim Fuller. You've got a great field each and every week there, and the racing has been good. Last week, the top was a little more dominant than I've seen there, even thinking back to last year. And so it's the track. Everybody said that was in Victory Lane Saturday. The track kind of threw them for a little bit of a loop last week, but the racing's been good. Big block modifieds. We've got Sportsman, the 305 sprint cars, always put on a good show for us. Last weekend, we really highlighted the street stocks and the hobby stocks with an extra purse for the Dad and Brad Memorial, as I've been calling it. But yeah, they can watch each and every week, landoflegendstv.com. It is the best thing that we have done. And you guys told us, a few years back that it would be the best thing that we've done. And it has really come through on that. When we compared our attendance number, everybody, when we announced that we were going to give the stream away for free, and I know you guys have heard this, everybody thought Paul was crazy to give it away, to move away from that pay-per-view model. But the numbers don't lie. We don't look at 2020 because of, how COVID affected fans not being able to attend. But when we look at 2019 attendance versus 2021 attendance, we went up in the general admission grandstands by 20%. And that was not a fluke. That was not just, oh, well, everybody was itching to get to the racetrack because, COVID was over. It wasn't that. It was people were able to watch the stream for free. They were able to try us out before they actually showed up to the track and extended the elbow and really invested in coming out to see our product. And it has just done wonders. And that's not even to go into the sponsorship side to make business sense of it. We just in the last 7 days, signed 2 brand new sponsors who waited to see what the first 2 shows were going to be in terms of viewership, whether they were going to make that decision to sponsor or not. They saw what our attendance numbers were in the grandstands and what the viewership was online, and they signed on the dotted line in the last week. So it's working. I'm telling you, it blows my mind. People are still saying that we're crazy for giving it away, but how can you say something's crazy when the attendance in the seats are going up, sponsorships going up, drivers are signing sponsors that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to sign because they're taking what we're giving the fans and giving their marketing partners, and they're using it as a sales pitch. And in many cases, I've done a lot of business with my media business, either putting videos together or proposals together to help these race teams do that. And it's a marketing machine. It really is. And when the racing is good, that obviously helps too. But this streaming thing, and like I said, you guys know this very well, but it has truly changed the game. It really has, and it blows my mind that we're not seeing it more. And I know there's a lot of different reasons for that, but it's it was worth the plunge. It really was.
Well, it's fun to watch. People from a great distance can keep up. And I said this to Clint when I saw him earlier. I was really impressed even with how your race director and the stream crew work together. Because not only it's something to choreograph, right? You want to come out of a break and, hey, here's this feature lineup. Boom, things are rolling. You don't want to come out of a break and have another break while you're on camera. But the fact that it all gelled, it was all cohesive together, it puts on a really nice polished presentation. So the stream actually raises the caliber of live show you put on, and the live show being more polished makes for a better stream. So it all works together. I was impressed with everything about the show except the flagman on the front stretch. Made me nervous. Every time he was down there, I was waiting for someone in the middle or the back of one of these packs to pull out a line and mow him down.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. There was a driver that said something about that on social this week too. So you definitely weren't the only one that noticed that.
He needs a light on him, something to. So Clinton, what he does, and I'm not even sure who the flag person is. Is that Greg Hickson?
Scott, his son Scott.
I'm sorry. Okay, Scott.
We call him the Rooster.
Clinton, all right, and great flag person, but on the pace laps, he's standing on the inside of the front straightaway, seeing everything go on. When it gets time to go one to go, he walks out into the middle of the racetrack and motions the front row to go around him, go on either side, which is fine if you're in the front row and maybe row 2. But by the time you get back to row 8 or 9, if you're late on the reflexes, I just risk versus reward. I used to love it when Bobby Watson or Gary Watson did it at Weed Sport, but it took my breath away a couple of times.
Well, that's what he's there to do it. Steven, thanks for hanging out with us, man. I'm sure a lot of our viewers will be watching. Wes did a good job sharing it here in our chat, and we'll try and help you guys along. Like we said last weekend, I can't promise you it's helping, but I guarantee it ain't kicking our ass. We're better for it. All the points you said about helping the drivers, marketing machine, all those things are exactly where we are too. We're finding it easier to sell some stuff Rush Weekend this year because the stream's coming back and it's so popular. Thanks, man. Hugs from all of us up here in Canada, and we'll see you down here as soon as we can.
It was great. Absolutely. It was great to see you, Stephen. Enjoyed that immensely.
Thank you guys. Thank you for all the encouragement. Truly, it's your guys' friendship and all the experiences along the way have really meant a lot. So thank you.
You're stuck with us. Now get out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm all right with that.
See you, Steve.
Yeah.
Wow. Good to see Steven. Adam,
it was nice for me. Give me one more 30 seconds here. Yeah. It was fantastic for me. I got to meet Kevin Ridley and Frank Guerry and Jim Smith, people that were involved in our iRacing product over the last 2 years. We became very good friends, but had never met in person. So it was great to go down there and meet those guys and chat a little bit and get to watch them race.
Always good when you get out to see how other tracks operate and things. We're so jaded, but it's so awesome when you get to be a fan. I like going to Rivalz on Saturdays just because I don't have to do anything on the off nights and just hang around. So Adam goes to New York. Let's talk pit prices. What is fair? Wheel that to Phil. Adam, there's been a long-standing argument in racing that racers provide the show. They shouldn't have to pay to be a part of it. The model's gone on in many different ways over the years. You've had rewards programs. I can speak to what we do at Rush Weekend. If you have Perfect Attendance, you got a free Perfect Attendance pass, but you still had to buy a membership, so it wasn't 100% free. We're going to that model next year. So at Rush Weekend, if you have Perfect Attendance this year, you will have a no purchase necessary free pass to race all the events in 2022. But that's still different, Adam, than somebody rolling up for a one-time deal to put a show on at your place he still has to pay to get in, or they have to pay to get in. What's your thoughts on this?
I used to stand up and say the driver is the show, they shouldn't have to pay. But my thought in my mind, I was always thinking of something like Oswego Speedway, where there was only ever one division. It was just super modifieds. There's 24 to 30 drivers. Big deal. Let them in. They're putting on a show. They're putting butts in the seats. Well, now you've got 5, 6 divisions of cars, right? Some of them with lots of drivers, some of them without. Should they all get in, all 100 of them, or 120 or 75? You do the math. That's a lot of money. Let's say you've got 100 drivers at your racetrack, which Ush Weekend does. Let's say you charge $20 to get in the pits. That's $2,000 that you're giving away. And the business models have changed so much at the racetrack. It's blows your mind. So the money has to come from somewhere.
Back in the glory days, and for me in our generation, I guess that would be maybe 70s, early 80s in the dirt circuit ranks where we grew up, right? The promoters probably were making money hand over fist then. The payouts were the same as they are today, which were probably high back then. But you think about it, I think they probably, maybe that's where this whole rhetoric came from, is because they probably were doing a lot better back then. I mean, I do the math at Oshweek and I see, we just trying to balance gate and staff, your gate intake versus your staff and racer payout. That's hard to balance that. Never mind lighting, insurance, fuel to prep the track, blow it dry if you're on an asphalt track, whatever the situation may be. So it's been a long-standing argument. So you let us know what you think should be. Should drivers have to pay to get in the pits? I mean, it's something. So I would give you that. I mean, we're going to that model. So we at Oshweekend, we would offer teams a chance to buy crew memberships where you get $10 or $20 or $10 or $15 off at the gate in the past. So we're doing away with that. Everybody will just pay the one price to get in, but every driver with perfect attendance the year before will get a free pass. So, I mean, it is something, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. It's neither here nor there because everyone does things different. So when I go and race, or when Connor races, I pay for our whole crew to get in. There's a lot of race teams, Clinton, where the team owner or the driver does not pay for their crew guys. Like a crew guy pays to go and work on someone else's race car for him to put on a show or her to put on a show. And it's not for us to say that's right or that's wrong. I think it's for the individual to say that. So supply and demand, a free market, racers are willing to pay to go and do what they do. It's on them.
Yeah, Garrett says drivers need to pay, but full price? ? Not sure. Let's look at all the other things we do. So it's a unique deal because, yes, there are some people paying to watch you do this, right? But when you look at any other activity, sport, hobby you have to pay. If you're going to play men's league hockey, you're paying for your ice time. If you're going to play golf, you're paying a registration fee to play softball. There's all those things that go on, right? Obviously, the equipment is a lot more expensive. There's a lot more risk. There's a lot more cost when you crash and break you're not breaking your baseball glove like you would your race car. But, it's the hobbies we all choose. And I'm sure there's a lot more rich hobbies than this, like sailing and that type of stuff. But I don't know. Interesting. It's a discussion that's gone for eons and will probably continue to go on. But
let's talk. So let's assume you are paying to go racing. What is a fair pit fee? Not for the driver, for the crew people coming in. Because I did see Land of Legends was $40. Flamborough Speedway was $40 when we were there 2 weeks ago. And if it's a special, it goes up from there. So it's really whatever the market will bear. People will tell you if they charge $100 at the pits, you would see an effect on the number of people who come in. You've got to find that point where people are no longer willing to spend.
Yeah, about 40 seems to be the average these days here in Ontario. Richard Hadler brings up a comment, says maybe competition and crew may be a different rate than fans that want to buy, but then every fan's going to say, I'm with Adam Ross's pit crew, and Adam's going to have 300 people on his pit crew that night as far as it looks on paper at the gate. But anyways, something to talk about. So let's jump into our Burger Barn video of the week. And as Jay Hill from Burger Barn and Petro Plus would probably like, Adam, we're going to keep it on the equestrian side today. Kentucky Derby was Saturday. And if you're an underdog, before we play the video, Spencer, let's look at the couple screenshots. I sent you 2 pics. Rich Strike was the horse that won. And let's look at the rundown. Awesome picture of that horse, man. What a beautiful animal. That's a great
I love
picture.
that picture.
That's awesome. But show the next one, Spencer. So Shannon Rose posted here on social, and this kind of got me in the feels. Y'all want to teach your kids a life lesson in 2 minutes? Show them the replay to the Kentucky Derby race. Number 1, Rich Strike was not the best starting position. 2, not the biggest or best horse. 3, only made it into the race on account of another horse having to scratch. And he was a $30,000 horse against a multi-million-dollar horse. It ain't always about having the best of everything or being the biggest and favored. It's about the size of the heart and dedication to win and excel in everything you do. Well done, Rich Strike. And that's a great life lesson right there. Now, Adam, this is the other video that caught me on Monday morning. I've never seen a horse race from this angle, so maybe they're all this wild. But you watch this guy picking through traffic. Play it, Spencer, and I want to talk over it as we go. So run this one. This is our Burger Barn video of the week, the Kentucky Derby replay. So there you see Rich Strike as he works his way up through the field. This is unbelievable.
And watch how close his horse's front legs are to the rear legs of the horses he's passing. Like, there is no flinch, no margin for error.
No. Turn it up, Spencer. We'll be quiet. This is actually good. Look at him go up the outside or inside there. But then this guy, I can't believe he chases him down.
Rich Strike is coming up on the inside. Oh my goodness! The longest shot has won the Kentucky.
Can you imagine even having any money on that horse? Whew.
Can you imagine having money on the 2 horses that appeared to be en route to victory? Oddly enough, Michael Waltrip picked first and second place, but he did it because of the 21 Wood Brothers and the number 3 for Dale Earnhardt. And I was listening to the race broadcast. Nobody in their right mind would have picked that top 2. And I think they said it would have a bet on that would have made $80,000.
Wow. That is nuts. Awesome deal. Congratulations to Rich Strike.
This is not a political statement. This is a funny joke. On social media the day after, they're saying the jockey on that horse had been invited to the White House to meet the president, but he declined. He said, if I wanted to look at a horse's ass, I would have finished second.
Good one.
I just thought that was funny.
That was a good one. All right, we got about 10 minutes left before we go to the replay of Merrittville Speedway from Saturday night. G-Force Light coming up as Merrittville is following us for the last few weeks. We're getting ready to do a couple more G-Force Light broadcasts on May 22nd, Sunday. We will be at Sunset to catch their Velocity Sunday portion of the program. We'll be live Saturday with the APC on G-Force with the full crew, but the light portion will air after that. We also are looking at Humberstone getting kicked off here in a week or 2, and we'll have that on light as well. So more programming coming out if you can't catch our live stuff, which kicks off soon. Adam and I will be calling the race this weekend from Sunset Speedway for the NASCAR Pinty Series. If you're checking it out or catching it on flow. Well, that one got stuck in my horse teeth there. Let's throw a couple more things out there. Get your motor running. Uncle Tony is working on the Cruiser Club with the family. The Spateris work on this in Port Colborne. They have the Downtown Cruiser Club, and it is happening. The Port Colborne Downtown Cruisers Association, I should say. 2020 schedule. It's every Thursday night, downtown Port Colborne. And they have theme nights, which is kind of cool. Race car night will kick it off May 19th, and then Chevy night, Ford night, Mopar night, right on through them all. Adam, we got to go on tractor night. And Spencer's going to go on EV night, bring his Tesla down. So
that's tractor night. That's my speed. That's my pace, man.
In my plow or chugga-lugga-lugging 5 miles an hour. All right. Stu with the throwback to Jack. Stuart Friesen showing the class again. Throwing back to one of our favorite racers, Adam, Jack Johnson. legendary Jack. There's Ronnie Johnson, and I'm a big fan of Ronnie Johnson. Back when we were nobody shits, we still are at Dirt Track Digest, running around Syracuse. Ronnie always gave me the time of day, and I appreciate that, even when we were young and stupid. The Hallmark 52 got redone in Jumpin' Jacks colors, which was awesome for all the Dirt Modified fans for Throwback Weekend. There's Ronnie Johnson down there checking it out. Adam, you grew up in this neck of the woods. Not quite that far down the Central District, but you know what it means. And there's Stu showing Ronnie the back end of the truck. How cool was this?
It's authentic. What I like about it, Clint, is that Stewart means it. I mean, these are gestures that he makes, obviously, with Hallmar's blessing and NASCAR's blessing, but he really respects the history of the sport, where it's been, people who made it what it is. And I like to think he's matured a lot, and he appreciates what the sport gives him and what he is able to give back to it. So I think we're pretty lucky to have someone like Stewart Friesen. And there are different drivers, but I love his swagger. I love the way he conducts himself.
Yeah, I totally agree. He gets what Jack Johnson means to all of us. He understands what it means to be breaking Jack's records at Fonda, and just a super cool gesture. Agreed. Authenticism. That's what we like. Mix and match. I just see Cam's comment, and of course, Cam had a live show yesterday to talk about the NASCAR Pinty Series here on G-Force, so go back and check that out. It's the NASCAR Pinty's Power Hour. And Cam, that's why we got Todd on this show, because you had an hour yesterday to chat it up. So all the in-depth details, go check it out on Cam's show here on G-Force. You can find it in the rundown. Cam did an amazing job. I don't know if you saw it, Adam. I was blown away by Cam, and I'm not just blowing smoke at him here right now. Spencer and I were chatting during the broadcast for Cam yesterday, and I'm like, wow, you put a lot of work in this season. I'm not doing nothing. This is all Cam. So Cam, it looks great. Your haircut looks great. Keep going, buddy. All right. Excited to see you work this weekend.
I'm not going to say I told you so. I'm not going to do it, Clinton. I'm
telling everybody, Cam Harris is the one time I will give up an Adam I told you so. So you said it, and I'm admitting my mistake, but we're on the right path.
And I shouldn't be like that. You catch some people, and there's some good stuff. Jomo Media is doing good stuff out there. Cam Harris, let's include Graydon Bunn and the Bunn Sons, and there's people who are fueled by their love for the sport and a little bit their love for presenting something in a video platform, right? Being able to produce something and put it out there. I can't remember a time when there's ever been this many people. Travis Cunningham, he has a podcast now with Jonathan Howe. And I think it's fantastic because here's someone, Travis has a great perspective on the sport. Like, he goes out there, he is the Rich Strike of the sprint car scene.
Yeah. Travis hoping to be that guy and grab a couple this year. And we wish him the best, obviously. Yeah, so check those out. You can find that on Spotify. The Southern Ontario Dirt Show with Travis and Jonathan Howe. Mix and match. Oh, what I was going to say about Cam. Cam mentioned that you can catch Delaware's opening night on Rogers TV London. I don't think that's going to happen, Cam. I think you're going to see something that comes out here in the next couple days. And we should be staying in our own lane because it's not our broadcast. But I did catch a whiff that Rogers may not be ready to go Friday. But catch them all season, maybe another week or two before they're up to speed. So, as I've been told, you're just going to have to go to the races for a change instead of streaming at home. That's going to be awesome.
That's going to be a great weekly show. The late models, the super stocks at Delaware every Friday. And I forget who I was saying it to or where. It might have been here, but how about Delaware Speedway and Ohsweken Speedway? They're about 90 minutes apart, both with full fields of cars racing on a Friday night.
I know we need to clone Fridays because another place I've really fallen in love with, Delaware. We went there a few times last year. Every time it just gets better. We get treated so good there. The just being a pit reporter, I love the tracks with the pits down in front. It's just so much more fun to do my job. But let's jump into mix and match. Just under 4 minutes to go here in the program. We thank you all for hanging out with us. As always, I don't even know what we threw in a mix and match. Just throw it up, Spencer. How about that guy? What the flags mean to that guy, Adam? So what the flags mean to that guy? When the green flies, act like I'm the only one on the track. Yellow flies, I took someone out, they didn't save it, not my fault. White flag, 4 more corners to make contact with other cars. Black flag, never seen it, I don't know what it means. Red flag, took someone out, they wrecked Blad, yeah, not my fault. Fast cars are coming, make sure you take up the whole track. And the checkered slam one more car, then pull in the pits, head of the trailer, act like nothing is my fault. Do you know any of those guys, Adam?
We've seen it over time. And the thing is, that guy or that girl only becomes that guy or girl on special occasions. Like, I've never seen someone who does that each and every night, but you see someone who has nights where they feel a little bit more entitled.
Definitely. I know some of the nicest guys turn into total flakes when they put their helmet on. But we all know that. I know hockey players like that too. What's next up in Mix and Match, Spencer, as we close off the show here and get ready to go? Oh, yeah. How about this? Lewis Hamilton says he won't race if FIA forces a jewelry ban. And I got to look this up, Adam. So, what's your thoughts on that?
It'd be a shame not getting to watch Lewis Hamilton race anymore, but bye-bye.
And no, it gets even more wild than that. He's saying that he has a piercing somewhere that he wasn't prepared to talk about and wasn't prepared to remove. And I was like, wow, that's a little too much information, Lewis.
Hey, what gives a person their mojo is their business. But no one person is bigger than the sport. Now, he's got the right to an opinion, and he can lobby and express himself. But Clinton, you've seen this over the years. Ultimatums don't end well. Like, take your ultimatum and pack it in.
I'm trying to find it here because just the way it was worded, I thought was interesting or strange, or either way. I was kind of shocked that they put it in print. So they all showed up with a whole bunch of jewelry to the drivers' meeting. And so their argument, he says, at least 2 pieces of the jewelry. One I can't really explain where it is, but it's platinum, so it's not magnetic, and it's never been a safety issue in 16 years. So
it reminds me
2 of the pieces of jewelry. One I can't explain where it is.
My dad worked the turn 2 pit exit at Cayuga Speedway when they raced Friday night. So where the races lined up to go out, that's where my dad was stationed. And they asked him to check crotch belts one night. And he just tells the story about, I'm going to take your word for it. Yep, you're good. You got one there? Yep, you're good.
All right. One last one on Mix and Match. This is Nick Berry shared this. It's a skid of sprint car tires. So you want to know what it costs to go racing? This is $11,184 US just for the tire bill if you were to run a new left rear, right rear this season every night for 18 shows. $12,000 for 18 shows. Ouch. That is painful, yep. Adam.
And if you run pavement, you can double that.
We had one last announcement that you shared to me today, and it was from Hoosier Tire Canada, Adam. And it was regarding the modified and sportsman tires. In response to the ongoing shortage for tires, Hoosier Tire Canada has decided the following plan to distribute tires to the tracks they service. Modified drivers. 1 right rear can only be purchased after 3 races are complete. A left rear after 4 races are complete. For sportsman drivers, 1 new tire can be purchased after 6 complete races, and a left rear after 8 races. No tires can be purchased on Monday, as that's when they will be going through the records and figuring out who should be allowed to buy tires. Wow, what a quagmire for those guys.
Yeah.
It's just... It's crappy that you have to police your own customers. You have to tell your customers no. You're not building great relationships. I can't help but feel for the tire guys. I mean, the distributors. Sure, you can be pissed off at Hoosier if you want and say the parent company should have had their stuff better planned out or whatever it is. But you got to feel bad for the distributors just trying to make a living.
And I don't know I'm really going to show my lack of knowledge here. I don't know who the parent company is for Hoosier. I don't know what they're a part of, but I do know that American Racer, they build a lot of rubber products for things that are more important than race cars. Yes, I said it out loud. There are things more important than race cars. And production's getting shut down on certain things right now, and race car rubber is not at the top of the priority list.
Right on. Well, with that, we got to go. We're already a minute and a half over time. The Merrittville fans are waiting here on GeForce TV, so we're going to stop making noise. Come out to the NASCAR Pinty Series, first ever event of the year at Sunset Speedway. Adam and I'll be there. Come by, shake a hand, buy us a burger. We'll talk to you then. Have a great day. Thanks,
Cheers.
Spencer.